look like? What does sanctuary look like? How do these images get cast so deeply in a soul? And then what can change in one instant and re-reveal the truth? When I was very young, I was told I was lazy, immoral, and of no account. It was very unsafe to be other than a male, and so I learned to live against myself. And here's what happened. I expected danger and perfected escape. I ran as a practice, as a horse runs, to avoid being prey. And 22 years ago, my daughter was born, but errors were made in her DNA, or proteins misfolded. She was born with an abscess in her brain. When she got older, it was suggested she learn to ride to improve her balance. And that is how we became involved with horses. That is when we met Pat at Proctor Hill. I deeply understood that wealth and order had kept my daughter alive, had shielded me for years, and I searched for a stable with that in mind. When we went to Proctor Hill, it was not at all safe. There was dust and dirt, and worse, the animals, the horses, kicked at the stalls. And Pat herself was fierce. A single woman, running a stable of 70 horses. There were rumors that as a child, she had been run over by a team of her father's workhorses, that she had barely lived, that she hadn't been expected to walk. But 15 years have passed and my life has changed. And I decided to go back and see who Pat really was.
This horse used to rear.
And this is what I found out.
But she reared up and I guess went over back.
Pat's father had been killed by a Palomino mare when she was 11.
Split his skull.
She learned to ride on a beloved pony named Pinky, who she would take into the kitchen. That she had been run over by a team of workhorses, and she had not been expected to live nor to walk. But that she did both, and at 70 outworks and outperforms any of her hired hands.
Where are they?
That although her husband had left her, she is not a bitter woman. That she is a very warm person. That she remembers the time that we spent at the barn with fondness. And that she could extend that warmth to me, someone who had been so skeptical. I found out I had been deceived. That as the children grew older and moved to fancier stables with paint that didn't peel, there was none of the warmth and the passion that Pat had made possible. That hardness in life can create grace and not be defeating. 22 years later, my daughter held the microphone and an umbrella over my head. We said goodbye to Pat. We drove through the countryside. We talked about history and the pretty movie I had planned to make, but that I won't. And then we stopped for ice cream to celebrate the hard women in our lives.